Awesome. Well, welcome to the Great Transition Senior Living Seminar Series. We're here to tackle a pretty big topic today. I've fallen and I can't get up. I'm excited. I'm Beth Lagulo, your host, and we're going to dive in here in just a few minutes. Great Transitions has been around for over a decade, and it's a system for working with seniors and their families as their lifestyle and housing needs change. You know, as you prepare for a move, a transition, it can be 12 to 18 months, it could be 3 to 5 years, it could be a month and a half, right? If an event occurs and you have to make a change. And we're here to help you be prepared no matter what your timeline looks like, to provide you with the information that you need to make the decisions that are best for you. We genuinely believe that helping and guiding seniors is our greatest privilege, and our educational partners think that way as well, and that's why they're in the room with us today. It's an honor and a privilege to care and help for those that have cared for and guided us over the years. That's just the Great Transitions way. Our objective here today is education. We want to provide you with information and education so that you can form your decisions appropriately for you. We're not here to sell you anything. The educational partners are not here for that either. We want you to be informed. But you know we always have some challenges that we ask you. Number one, who's going to be tasked with making decisions for you when you are no longer able to do so yourself? And will you agree with the decisions that they made? We talked about that a little bit before the seminar today. And then finally, have you shared your plan with your all-star team? Maybe that's your family, maybe that's some close friends, or some of the professionals that are in your life, like your estate planning attorney, your CPA, your financial advisor. It's really important. As we said earlier, not having a plan is a plan, it's just not a good plan. And so we applaud you for being here and taking steps to firm up your plan. With that said, we're going to jump into our topic. You know, Florida has over 4.3 million citizens that are 60 plus. That's bigger than the population of Orlando. 95% of those seniors that are 60 plus live independently. It's important that we plan for an emergency, right? But even more so as we age and we get to that 60 plus category. We know that it's always better to be proactive than reactive, right? So that when a situation occurs, we know exactly how we should act. I was thinking about this seminar today, specifically this morning. I have never called 911. Never. And the prospect of having to do that is a little disturbing to me. So I'm really glad that you both are here. We're going to learn today how to prepare for an event. Should an event occur, we've got some valuable information from some great people with the Winter Park Fire Department and Emergency Services, and we're really glad that you're here. I'm going to let you gentlemen introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves. Chief?
My name's Chris Gaddis. I'm the Chief of Operations for Fire and EMS for right here in Winter Park for the department here. I've been there 28 years. So over time I've seen the city grow. I've been to all the different places that were mentioned here over my career, and run many calls and seen many things. So I think hopefully Johnny and I can shed some light on some things that we've seen over a period of time, things that you can do to help us out, because like Beth said, calling 911 is not something you do all the time. It can be a little intimidating probably, And we don't want you not calling if you need help. And if you call and it ends up being something that maybe isn't, you can get educated on when to and when not to. And I hope that we can help you with that. And so thanks for having us, and we'll get going.
Thanks, Chief.
Yeah. My name is Johnny Castro. I'm the EMS captain, or one of the EMS captains for Winter Park. Been there since 2007, so just a little over, close to 19 years. And I'm still shift personnel, so I'm there 24 hours on my shift and then 48 off. But yes, I respond to the calls as well, and to all the places like Mayflower, Westminster, and all that. So hopefully we can answer some of your questions.
So we've got almost 50 years of experience right here at these two tables. Doesn't look like there's that much there, does it? I don't think so. Well, we're really glad you're here. So let's jump in. Chief, let's talk about the most common situations that emergency services gets called in, specifically regarding the senior community.
Okay, for at your private residence.
Correct.
Generally, we're responding to calls there. Some would be emergency calls, some would not be emergency calls. The most common, obviously, is going to be that someone's fallen. I know that that's the topic of the thing, but it's absolutely true. You can trip and fall. Sometimes it could be that you were out working and, something happened to you trauma-wise that caused you to fall. Sometimes it could just be, I tripped on the rug. I mean, that happens all the time. Other issues that we get called to would be the changing of the batteries in smoke detectors. Something maybe that has gone on, you've got water coming out from behind the refrigerator. It could be something like that. And that's why you should always call 911 and let us come and figure it out, and we can take it from there and see. But because we can mitigate some water things for you, get it stopped, tell you who you might need to call to get that problem fixed. We could take you to the hospital, or we could just, sometimes people fall all the time and they're not injured, and we can help them back up, get to their feet, and they're like, hey, I'm fine, and boom, and we turn around and we leave and we're out of there.
Love that. I love that you too have a heart for helping people. Yeah, in every situation. Is there a time when you should not call 911?
Well, I would never advise you to not call 911 it's like one of those things where they say, if I have to think about whether or not I should do this or not, I probably shouldn't do it. But calling 911 is, if you think that, there's going to be no harm, nobody's going to yell at you, nobody's going to come to your house and berate you for doing that. We're going to come there and see what it is, and we'll help in any way we can. And
I know,
but I would never not call, especially for a health-related problem where you think I'm having problems breathing, or whatever it could be. I'm hurting, and we can come and evaluate you, and we can take it from there and we can make a decision together on whether or not you need to go somewhere, or whether or not it would be okay, or call a family member or whatever.
Okay, great. Thank you. Johnny, can you walk us through what happens when somebody calls 911, the things that people should be prepared for? What kind of questions are they going to be asked?
Yeah, so when you call 911, you're going to be with a dispatcher, and that dispatcher has, for us, a Pro QA questionnaire. And basically,
Pro QA, what does that mean?
So basically, whatever issue you're having, they have a set of questions to ask. So say if you have difficulty breathing, they're going to ask several different questions on that to make sure they get all the proper information before a dispatch the fire department. And from there, so they'll just ask you basic questions of what your emergency is, where do you live, if you're calling from a cell phone, because how many people have landlines still?
Anybody still have a
Oh,
landline?
oh, wow, okay. So if you call from a landline, the dispatcher will know exactly where you are. But if you call from a cell phone, it just depends where you're at in the city, and it depends where you're getting pinged at. And then so knowing where you are is going to be very important. So what your emergency is, if it's a non-emergent or emergency, and where you're at, and what kind of services you're going to require. It's pretty much what they're going to ask.
So 911, typically an emergency call, quite likely that somebody's going to be a little anxious,
Yeah.
right? does the dispatcher stay on the phone to help keep them calm? How does,
Yes. Yeah, so when you call the dispatcher or 911, they're going to stay with you on the phone until we get there. And usually they'll hear us. So, like, hey, yeah, we're here. And then, or you guys will let them know that we have arrived. But we have radio communication with the dispatch. So when we get on scene, we tell them that we're on scene. And also when we get to the patient or to the person, we let them know we're there as well. So,
right. I love that everybody's on the same page.
correct.
Yeah, that's great, that's great. So Chief, if I call 911 at 2 o'clock in the morning, because I've fallen, do you have to come to my house with lights and sirens? Because I don't want my neighbors to be woken up or disturbed, and I really don't want them to know what's going on with me. What's the protocol on that?
Well, at 2 o'clock in the morning, we're still going to be considered emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Unless that you have given your information to the dispatcher that says, I just fell, I just can't get back into bed, or I slipped out of bed or out of my chair, whatever. And we would come non-emergency for that, and we would send one unit to that call. If you're injured at 2:30 in the morning, we're gonna come obviously quicker, because that's what we're doing.
What you do.
But we would be driving with, at 2 o'clock in the morning through the neighborhoods. There's not as much traffic, so the driver will, we're not gonna be like blaring that thing like we would be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And so for a non-emergent one vehicle, how many vehicles are gonna come on an emergency call?
On an emergency call, you'll get 5 people, and you could get him if it was even elevated above that. So that was what we call a medical red, something, he would respond well. But you'll get 5 people generally, 3 on an engine and 2 on a rescue truck. And then on a non-emergency lift assist or something like that,
Mhm.
you're just gonna get an engine that'll have 3 guys on it.
Okay, great. Johnny, when emergency services arrives at the home, what should I expect? Do I need to have my DNR ready?
Mm-hmm.
Do we all know what a DNR is? Okay.
Yeah, so when we arrive, we're going to ask all basic questions: your first name, last name, birthday, social, and then from there, we'll ask, what your issue is, what medical issue did you have at that moment. And from there, we'll also ask your medical history, your past medical history, your current medical history, any allergies that you have to medicine. Also any medications that you currently take, and if you're compliant with those medications, because that deals with a lot with what we do. And from there, with the DNR, usually at communities and things like that, or even at homes, if we see a DNR, that's something we can take with us. I suggest having a yellow copy, because that's what they require in the state of Florida, a yellow copy. Having that on a fridge, and or having your original somewhere that's easily accessed, either from you guys or from your family member or your power of attorney or anything like that.
Okay.
So
Emergency contacts list?
that's a huge thing. Actually, yes, emergency contact list. The other day I used someone's cell phone he was unconscious and all that. So we couldn't ask him any questions. He was by himself.
Mm.
So with your phone, if you have a medical ID, whether I believe it's the iPhone has it, you can use a medical ID, and we can access that without doing your thumb or facial recognition. And having the basic information there really helped us out. So I called a family member, hey, let that person know, hey, this is what's happening, this is what we're doing, and this is where we're going with the hospital.
Gotcha. We talked at a seminar a couple years ago about creating your Go book. And I broke my own rules. Sorry about that. 1 second. That's what I get for not doing it right. Sorry. We talked about creating a Go book with all of that information that your all-star team knows where it is. Maybe it's a purple binder in your house, and they go there if they know you're going to the hospital. But I think what you're talking about is maybe a one-sheet thing that could go on the fridge.
Yep.
Emergency contacts, even the meds that you're on,
Mhm.
anything like that that would be of
That helps
help.
us out a lot,
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be a lot going on simultaneously, and
Mhm.
we're gonna have the
Chaos.
paramedics talking to you, asking what the issue is and emergency wise. And then there's gonna be another person trying to get all that information. So it's
Yeah.
easier if that information's already easily accessible for us, and then we don't, less questions, less,
Love that. Love
things
that.
going on that scene, so.
Is there any fee to call 911?
So calling 911, no. So say for like lift assist and things like that, if we come by and help you up and you're not injured, no. However, if we do transport and things like that, there is a bill for that. Just depends on the severity of your injuries or your illness at that time.
Okay.
But we have a third-party company that does all the billing,
Mm-hmm.
so we just reference them for that as well. So.
Okay. Why do you think people might be reluctant to call 911?
Definitely monetary reasons.
Okay.
If someone doesn't have insurance or things like that, I think people are a little reluctant, or you just feel like you don't want to be bothering or anything like that. Maybe you feel like there's a burden for us to come, but there's not. So when you call 911, they're going to ask you if this is an emergency or non-emergency, and depending on your answer, we'll go that road and that whatever we need to do. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Chief, I'm gonna skip back because my phone distracted me.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest misconception about calling 911?
Well, I would, yeah, probably that if you called 911 and we took you to the hospital, that you'll get seen quicker than everyone else. And depending on what your problem is, now you're having a medical event that is what it is, then that is up to the hospital is going to take that and they're going to triage it, meaning they're going to move you to where they think that you need to go immediately. But just because we take you in there doesn't mean that all the people that have been in there waiting, you're just going to go right by. If it's not busy, it'll be quick. If it's busy and it's something on the minor side or whatever, it's going to be up to them to determine, when you're going to be seen at the hospital.
Gotcha.
That's
So
probably-
it's not like a fast pass at Disney.
No.
Unfortunately.
Cheaper than a fast pass at Disney, though. Yeah, much. So then, Chief, if somebody is feeling unsure about making a call, what are the situations where they should absolutely call 911?
Well, if you're at home and you're living by yourself, or it's you and your spouse or whatever, and you're at home and, you're having any kind of medical event, absolutely call. If you're at home by yourself and I smell smoke or something along those lines, and, I don't know where it's coming from, or I see smoke, you definitely want to call 911. If water, like I said, we have responded to broken water lines, water pipes in the yard, water coming from behind the refrigerator or behind the washer dryer area, and we can come there, we have the tools and we can turn the water off, at least get that stopped. So, that's, those are some of the big ones there, so.
I think that is so reassuring because I honestly didn't think that you could do that.
A lot, smoke detectors beeping, right? We don't want you up on a ladder. My wife doesn't want me up on a ladder right now. But, sometimes, you live in a house with big tall ceilings and,
Yeah.
we'll come there and we got the stuff that we can put people up there to do that.
Love that, love that. What about if I have a pet? How many pet owners do we have in the room? Got a few, right? What happens if I'm living alone or, and I have a pet, you guys take me to the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
what happens to the pet? Chief?
That's a good one. In the, we would do our best to try to contact any family. If there was no family, we'd try to contact a neighbor that was nearby. it would be helpful, and when we were talking about the things that you can have in the house, or a list of things, that maybe that was one of the things you added to an emergency contact or something. If I'm not here, could we try to get the pet somewhere, and we would do our best to try to run that down and handle it. But normally in those situations, we are trying to contact family, neighbors, or to kind of help us out with that if you're going to have to go to the hospital and be gone for a day or two. Or
I think
however
your
long.
neighbors are probably your best bet for sure. So if you have good neighbors, asking them, hey, something happens, is it okay if we do go there and ask them, hey, can they come check on your pet? And I think that's a good route as well, but having information and calling and numbers like that, I think would be good.
Sean?
Yes. I have an answer for this. My vet gave me a help I have an animal at home card.
Oh.
For like an emergency. You just put like emergency contact for your dog.
And
nice.
you
I
put
just-
it on the
I just
fridge?
keep it in my wallet behind my
Okay.
hand, so,
Put one on your fridge too.
and I'll do that, yeah.
Okay. Super. So your vet might have a little something that might even be a cute magnet that you can put on your fridge with your pet contact emergency information.
Now, there are plenty of vets in Winter Park, and if that might be a good thing to, where we could maybe work together with that to know, that would be a place that we could call that then would allow us to,
Sure.
another avenue if the family or the neighbor didn't work out.
Rhett Delaney, do you know a vet?
I might know one.
Okay.
Married to one.
It just gives us another tool in the toolbox to maybe make that happen, and
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. And honestly, I used to have a pet. I don't have a pet now, and I'm glad Nicole saw fit to make a question like that, because it does affect a lot of people, I'm sure. We talked a little bit earlier about lift assists. What if I've fallen and I live alone, and I can't get to the door to let you guys in?
Yeah, so if that occurs, depending if you live at your house by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you are able to get to the phone and you don't have a pendant. I do suggest if you do live alone, you have a pendant, because that can alert us and all that. However, if you can't get to the door, we're gonna try to find a way inside with the least amount of damage, depending how hurt you are. So if you're having a medical emergency, we're gonna get inside
You need
your
a
house.
fast way in.
Correct. So if that occurs, then we're gonna either knock the door down, but we're gonna try to do, or we can take the lock off. We have different ways to do that. So it's better to do that instead of damaging your door completely or breaking a window or anything like that. But people do sometimes leave their windows open, so we will check the perimeter of the home, try to see if there's any doors or windows open before we try to make entry in a damaging way. However, we do have a way to take a lock off, and it's probably like $20 for a lock, if anything like that. So we try to do the least amount of damage as possible,
Okay,
and then get in there and help you up or take you to the hospital.
gotcha.
You got a question?
What happens if there are emergency alerts, things in your house, that an alarm goes off?
Oh, that's something we're gonna have to deal with. Hopefully, if the person who calls is coherent enough, we can try to turn it off with the code that they have.
So the question, I always like to repeat the question, we'll get to Q&A in just a minute. If your alarm is going off,
Mhm.
right, in your house, and that
Security
just
alarm.
adds
Security
to
Yes.
the anxiety of the
Yeah.
situation, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So having that information on that little sheet on your fridge is probably.
That'd be good as well, yeah, you can leave it by the panel and maybe have the code
Oh, yeah.
there, and we can, utilize the code and at least silence it for the time being.
Chief, when we had our pre-seminar meeting, we talked about a knock box. What's that?
That's a fancy word for a place to store a key.
Okay,
And it can be put somewhere on the outside of your house. We've had people leave keys under the planter by the door. We have people that they get a little box. You can get them at Home Depot, put the key in there, and it has a combination on it. Or it has a hook on the end, and that opens up, and you could click it around a pipe on the outside or somewhere on the outside of your house. And then you let us know, and we put that in our system. And when the guys are coming to your house, We have like iPads in the truck, basically a fancy computer. And that information gets populated up. It goes to dispatch, they type all that in. When we're going to this address, it'll have a note in there. It'll say the code to the box to get into the house is 4215, and it's located here on the house, and we can go and get that key, open the door, and then we don't have to worry about any lapse of time walking around the house trying to find some way to get in. We can get the key right out, go in, and take care of business on that.
So,
It's definitely worth having
yeah,
that, and a way that if you fall and you're not near the phone, and the phone is all the way back there, and you can't move because your hip's broken or whatever it is, you want to be able to hit that button and call for help. Somebody will talk to you the way that those are set up. You'll be able to talk. There's a speaker in the landline type phone that they make you have, and you can talk with somebody on the other end. I'm hurt, I can't move, da 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 da. And even if you didn't have the box, you could say, here's where the key's hidden, and they would be able to relay that information to us. So
yeah, our police department actually has a little program for it. So if you have an issue, you can call them, and they can actually help provide a Knox box for your residents, if
Okay.
anything.
That's awesome.
I'm sure, I think there are stipulations to it, but I'm pretty sure if you just contact them, they can give you the proper information.
So that's a great tool, because we have people that live in all various municipalities. So if you live in the county, you would call the sheriff's department, they might
I
be
would
able to
assume,
help
yes.
you.
I don't know if they all have the same program. I know Winter Park does.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
yeah.
It's
I
worth
can't speak for them.
investigating,
I think
yeah.
so, yeah.
I remember going to a house for a lady that was moving to a community, and I got to the house and there was a lockbox on the door. And I thought, I was coming here to talk to her about getting her moved and then selling her house, but maybe she's already talked to a realtor, because it looked like a realtor's box. But it was her combination box. She lived alone, and several of her friends had the combination. She had fallen, and it was her way of leaving a key out. So to your point, Home Depot can be your best friend for
Yep.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that. Okay. Let's go back to, we talked a little bit about monetary responsibilities once we call 911. What are your rights and responsibilities, Chief, when we're talking about ambulance transport?
So if we were to come and, they have what is called HIPAA now, which is, all your medical history, all your, whatever happened, we're not allowed to talk about it with anybody but you or the people at the hospital about what happened, here's what happened, here's what's going on. So, we're not at liberty or not allowed to talk to anybody else. So if you were to have a neighbor come over and they're asking, why were you here and what happened and da-da-da-da, we're not allowed, can't tell them anything. And that's your biggest right, is it's the privacy practice now that's been around for quite some time, and there is teeth to that if you do not follow the rules on that. So all your private information is just that, it's private, and we don't tell anybody anything other than the hospital.
Love that, love that. Getting back to lift assist, that we talked about was non-emergent, right? You're calling somebody to get some help there. I had a client that called lift assist a lot. They were like a frequent flyer. Is there a limit?
No, there's not a limit to getting charged, is the question, but, no, so if there's a lift assist, we'll come as many times as needed. But if there's a common issue where the person may get hurt later on, or if they're on a medicine like a blood thinner or something like that, maybe we'll start talking about assisting them and finding a different avenue so they don't get hurt, so something else doesn't occur with the lift assist, whether it's they do trip and fall, or they get dizzy and then fall. I mean, trauma can be very damaging, obviously, especially the older you get, right? So, but yeah, there's no set limit for that.
Okay.
But we would try to see different avenues to help that person
Is there a different number that I call for lift assist?
No, so you call 911, and again, the dispatcher's gonna ask you, is this emergency or non-emergency?
Mm.
And once they acquire that it's a non-emergent issue or medical event, if it's just a lift assist and I'm not hurt, you pretty much just tell the dispatcher that. They'll notify us and we'll go there non-emergency and do our thing. And if you do have a Knox box, they'll let us know as well. And then we'll enter your house, help you up wherever you need to go, and then assist you as best as we can.
Great, love that. We did a workshop, partnered with Evershore a couple weeks ago at the Mayflower to talk about power of attorney, and several of you came to that workshop. It was really good. I didn't speak at it, and neither did anyone else in the room, but it was really good. We had a great speaker at that event. And at that workshop, we came to the realization that we don't always have a good answer for the questions. But sometimes just pondering the question is where we need to start. And that's kind of where we're going to go with this question. Chief, if I need some help, but I know I don't need EMS, and I have no family close by, who do I call?
You're having something happen at your residence?
Something's happening, I need some help, but I'm like, it's not.
Kind of goes back to the water coming out from behind somewhere, or the smoke detector thing is beeping and I need it, I can't get up on the ladder and change it, things like that. You would call, it's not emergency, I need help and I can't do it, and that's it.
Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna come, that's what's gonna happen.
right. And I think it drives home the importance of the community, right? You talked about neighbors being able to deal with pets, if you had an issue with your pet or something, and being able to have that information where you can access it quickly and things like that. And I do appreciate, I think one of the biggest things that has come out of our conversations about this topic is that it's okay to call
It's okay to call, yeah.
and ask.
That's what it's there for, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Let's kind of just sum up basically what we've talked about, Chief, if you want to take us home here. What should every household have prepared for in the event of an emergency? Why should your community, whatever that looks like, be part of your emergency plan?
You mean what can they do at home, you mean?
Yeah,
So-
and why do we need to even maybe develop that community a little bit more thoroughly? Maybe we've been pretty independent and we don't need anybody.
Okay.
Any independent people in the room?
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I get it 100%. I would, in order to get the most, word I'm looking for, quick care without having to spend a lot of time doing some other things. Having a packet ready that has family member contact info in it, has your medicines in it. We do not like to take your medicines from the house and take them to the hospital. They will end up, I don't know where they're gonna end up, but you're not gonna get them back, more than likely. So we used to take medicines with us what are they on? Here they go. We'd have 5 bottles of medicine with us, and then they weren't ever getting back to the people. We like to have all that written down on here's what they're taking, here's their allergies, things like that. Very simple, but it tells us your history, it tells us the medicines you're on, it tells us some contact information that we can call to let people know what's going on. Also, just to have something, like if you knew you were, whether you need it or not, a little bag, suitcase or whatever with maybe pajamas in it or some sort of change of clothes that you might want if you were going to spend a couple days at the hospital before you came back. Have that there, it just sits there. You don't even have to mess with it. Also, what Captain Castro said, a DNR, if you did, and we came to your place and you have a DNR that says, I don't want you to do any X, Y, Z. We need to know that, and if we have that, then we can honor your wishes on that. If we were not to have that, or the power of attorney, that's where the power of attorney comes in as well, then, and we don't have that, we're obligated to have to do things because we don't have that information. So that would be another thing to stick in that envelope. And I would have that and have that on a place that's easily seen.
Maybe even like kind of like in your binders, we have those clear plastic sleeves. Stick them in there and stick it on the fridge, or.
I know at Mayflower and maybe even
Westminster has
Westminster
a lot of those
as well.
on the fridge.
We do it on the fridge or on the inside of the door. And I would make copies of that. Don't put the originals in there, make copies of it, because if the copies don't make it back, no big deal, and you have another copy to put in there.
And they have to be on
Make
yellow.
5 copies of it, and you have it, and put a new one on there, and it just, things like that makes it really easy for us, as well as the how to get into the house with a code or a box or something like that,
Mhm.
where we don't have to, break something to get in there.
Yeah.
We try not to do that if possible, but if you're having something that's really bad, or you're bleeding really bad, we need to get in there, and if we're spending our time searching around outside for a way to get in, we need to get in there, so.
It's good to have that community.
Yeah.
So having your neighbors and being friends with them and all that, if they're nice or not. It's good to have them.
If they're not nice, you need to be
Yeah, maybe.
nice and make nice, right?
Make nice. But it is nice, it is good to have that community and have them, it's okay to need help. So if you need help, that's fine. It's-
Well, yeah, because when you think about it, how many of you would be willing to help your neighbor?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
They're willing to help you as well, right? So.
But
and
you got water coming out all over the place, your neighbor may not have the tool to shut that water off, so.
Or the strength to.
You can try the neighbor first, but if that were to not work, or they couldn't come over and help you, then, you're
Yeah.
that's when you would call us, and we can go over there and shut the water off. We do it all the time.
And I just want to stress from personal experience, if a DNR is something that you want, get it done, if it's not done.
Yeah, that or advanced directive. Similar thing, but.
But not completely the
not
same.
Not the same, they're similar, but not the same.
And my dad passed away last year, and it could have been better.
Right.
It could have been way better. I know that when hospice was here, they talked to us about the 5 Wishes booklet. That can be used in place of a DNR, but it does have to be witnessed. But have those readily available if that is a choice that you want to have invoked when you're unable
Yeah.
to do so.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also have a healthcare surrogate.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna ask some questions. So you, educational partners, if you can get ready with the microphones, and Joanne, if you wanna just,
I just want to say, I have a healthcare surrogate also with my power of attorney and my
Mhm.
DNR and all that.
okay, healthcare surrogate with power of attorney and DNR, but your healthcare surrogate can't say it's a DNR if the paper's not there,
Right.
Yeah.
right? You gotta have the paper.
You have to, or if we have the doctor's name or phone number, that's another thing we can do as well on scene. Ask family members if they are there. But if there's no DNR, we're gonna do our best to do the family's wishes. But ultimately, if there's no one
Sometimes you
there,
say we have
to do.
Well,
so
even
it's-
when the family's there, you say
Yeah.
we still have to do this.
It depends.
Yeah.
That was my
So,
experience, and it
yeah, so
wasn't
our
very
medical, so we
pleasant.
work under a medical director, and a medical director has different policies and protocols that we go through. So if there's any issue that we're like, we don't know what to do, or we're kind of at a crossroads, we can call him. He lives in City of Winter Park. He's a doctor at Winter Park Hospital, and so he's easy to call, easy to talk to, and he'll kind of give us a direction for that. And he also has different avenues that we don't have, and you can call another doctor or something like that. But ultimately, we're going to do the best what that person's family and what they know the patient, the person more than we do. And say if they are in cardiac arrest, it is a traumatic thing. CPR is traumatic, and it's hard to watch, but it's a necessary thing that we do. But that's something you do not want. Again, DNR is huge, we'll do minimal things. So
And I think that's best route
Mm.
and because the medical director could change and the
Sure.
procedures could change.
Yeah, and we have
Yeah.
protocols that we do go through.
Yeah,
And ultimately, he's very, not lenient, but he's able to, he wants the best, we all want the best thing for the person, yeah. We want empathy, sympathy, and all that. And we want to do the best thing for that patient person.
yeah, yeah. Okay, we got some questions, all right. We're coming, Frank, what's your question?
This is a quick one. What you showed just previously, this and so forth and so on, for individuals in the house in case there's emergency, put on your refrigerator door, or some kind of similar concept.
Yes.
Are you aware of any commercial product or something like that, that you can actually procure, this little pamphlet that's got this stuff in it, for example, 2 or 3 pages, whatever, it's not too complex, that you could actually distribute, for example, to your homeowners association, and whether they're a member or not, they can look at this thing, and even us who are members, we can look at this thing and fill in the blanks should we care to, which we
That's
will.
a, that's
So,
a
like,
fantastic idea.
Is there a template of any kind that you could follow?
No.
And pay $5.
I think the communities have anything like that?
Communities-
I believe they do, so.
The communities might have something like that, and in fact, I'm gonna say communities, let's talk, because we can probably create one. Great Transitions would be happy to create one for you.
There are templates, because my community has one and we distribute it.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. It's a great community. Are there any houses for sale in your community?
One just went on the market.
I hear it's very well cared for.
It has a great wardrobe in the bedroom.
Our public education department could probably put something
I'll
like
send
that.
it.
If we could do it maybe together or something,
Yeah.
and put that out and put it on our
On our website.
and our social
Love that.
media, stuff like that,
And
where
I
you
can
could get
email
it.
The two that we have.
Thank you,
Perfect.
Joanne. Yeah, you can't do that anymore, Marcia.
And we'll distribute
Update it
We get
periodically.
copies.
Yes, you would have to do that, yes,
Like every,
Yeah.
like everything.
Every couple years.
Oh my goodness, we got lots of questions, don't we, ladies?
So a real quick one, do y'all know of any free or very low cost pendants?
Oh,
Because we
pendants.
get that question all the time.
I don't, honestly. I only know the big ones, like Life Alert is probably the one I see a lot. But I don't know the cost of those.
Medicaid will supply them if you're on
Okay.
Medicaid. And I was just looking up that AARP can help people get them.
Perfect,
for
yeah.
less, but I don't know.
I don't know,
I'll
yeah.
research that a little bit and come back later.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melanie. That would be helpful. I know, you have a suggestion, Robin?
No, I have a question.
Oh.
How should we list our emergency contact in our phone? It used
Oh.
to be ICE, right? In
Right.
case of emergency, but what's?
Yeah, I think with the medical ID, it has actually, I mean, the person I just did the other day was, they had their medical doctor, a cardiologist, what medical history they had, and it had I think it's spouse or partner as a subtitle or whatnot, or head, and then their phone number, and then it had different types. So I would suggest, I mean, I was looking for a spouse or partner initially. I mean, he even had his mother on there, so I called in every number I could, and whoever answers, I'm gonna talk to. So if it's that important, that person has it in that medical ID, that's what I'm gonna do.
So that on the iPhone is in the health app?
Yeah, I believe it's in your health
You go into
portion, yeah.
settings
Yeah,
and search for medical ID.
yeah.
It'll pull up the screen.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't
From
know
our
that.
financial advisor. She obviously
do you have
has,
to unlock the phone to get to
yeah.
that?
No,
Do we,
so you don't have to unlock the phone. So like, if you ever try to turn off your phone, if you have to, at least with the iPhone, it gives you 3 options: turn it off, medical ID, and a SOS emergency call. So the middle one's medical ID, and that's the one we
very
can
cool.
go for, yeah.
Awesome. So Gladys has, we have
Yeah,
more
everyone
questions
is.
from the educational partners.
Are there different types of DNRs? Is there just one, like, there's just the yellow DNR?
Yep. Yeah.
But if you go out to the hospital, do they ask about a different
No.
type of,
No, DNR is,
it's just all?
it's gonna be on yellow, canary yellow as they call it, paper. They usually want the original, but if you do have a copy, it has to be on that canary yellow sheet. And they'll ask for that. So in case, depending on the medical emergency and if the person's unconscious or anything like that, and there's no family, they can have that to know we're gonna do this instead of going all out and do this.
Just
Where
to
do you get
elaborate a little bit more, so the DNR will specifically say do not resuscitate.
That's exactly what it says, yeah.
But it doesn't say but do not resuscitate, but it.
Doesn't mean, so do not resuscitate doesn't mean do not treat. We will treat the person. Now, depending on if they are in cardiac arrest, we're gonna do minimal things. So we'll give them oxygen. We're not gonna give them medicine. We're not gonna do CPR. We're not intubating. We're gonna do the minimal,
We can't,
because that's what they wanted,
Yeah.
right? They don't want it, like I said, CPR is traumatic, right? It's traumatic to the body, it's traumatic to the family and to the person, right? So if they have a DNR, it's do not resuscitate, however, it's do not treat. It's not do not treat. So we will treat that person however they need. So if they have a shortness of breath and they have a DNR, that's cool. However, if it doesn't have to escalate to that DNR, we're gonna do whatever we need to do for that person.
like, we can put an oxygen mask on, but we're not going to intubate them and force air, and that would be the next step up
Right.
that we're not going to do, like, that we
So you'll
would.
give first aid, but you
We'll
just
give
won't
minimum.
give chest compressions and.
Yeah, if they have a DNR, we're not gonna do chest compressions. We're gonna give them oxygen on a mask, and pretty much, if they wanna stay home and we'll talk to the family, we're gonna let that occur. We're not gonna do things that they don't want,
If the
So,
family there.
if the family's there and all that. But the DNR does help us with that
And I have
decision.
one more question, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
If if there are two family members there, and there is a do not resuscitate order,
Mhm.
you guys go by the do not resuscitate order, or do you go by
The
the family member
The
saying,
family
"Yes,
can say
resuscitate"?
they don't want to, or they wanna, relinquish the DNR, and then we'll have to do what we have to do on our protocol. So
If they're power of attorney.
if they have the power of attorney or the surrogate.
They would have to be written
They would
on
have to
there
show
as
us that.
either the health surrogate or the power of attorney on the DNR, and then say, no, I want you to do whatever you need to do.
Correct.
That would be the only way
Because
that
it is a hard situation, obviously, for that family to see their family member in cardiac arrest and all that. So with emotions and all that, it's high stress, right? They may want to relinquish that DNR, but
And
we
that's
would advise them.
That's verbal, do what you have to do to save them.
Yeah.
Forget the DNR.
If they have
If
the
they have the
power of attorney or health
It
care
can't be just a
surrogate.
regular family member. You can't have 5 people there. Then that's going to cause an issue. Yeah. Then that's something we'll have to call our medical director. Like, hey, this is occurring. This is kind of above our head here. But we want to do whatever's best for that patient. If we have to call police department and things like that, we will.
Yeah.
Or we'll talk to the power of attorney or the health care surrogate, and they're going to be the person deciding that, not just a regular family.
And that's what we talked about in the workshop, the importance of choosing your power of attorney wisely.
Yep.
Will you agree with the decisions? Are you confident that they will carry out your decisions?
See, my mom's gonna choose me though. Out of my 2 other brothers, I think it'll be me. I'm the
But you may
favorite.
not have the power of attorney, may not be on scene, and another family member is. It doesn't
True.
hold that distinction, right? And they're like, no, say my mom, and you gotta call the other guy, and he's like, and the power of attorney may be
She
not
made it
there, but
clear.
could be like, no, we're gonna honor what's on there.
Yeah.
But that's how it would work.
Yeah, so, okay, hold on, we got a question in the back.
You're
We'll come to
done.
you, Chris, in just a minute.
Kind of continuing off of that, so you talked about, you spoke of copies of the DNR.
Yeah.
Do you need to have the original
No.
durable power of attorney?
Oh,
Because
the
I've heard you need to have the original in hand if you're that person, or can that also be a copy?
I'm unsure of that. All I know about the DNR is that you do have to have it on that yellow paper. The power of attorney and all that is something that's good for us to bring, but I
I think
believe
they'll
it
take
has
copies,
as
yeah,
well,
Linda and
yeah.
Mary are not able to come today. We'll reach out to them and verify, but I'm pretty sure you can get away with a copy. Advent does?
Yeah.
Okay. Chris had a question?
I just want to know, does the fire department, if somebody have these yellow forms already
No.
printed up?
So that's something you
Wow,
for
where do you get the
your
yellow
primary care physician. So whoever you see as your primary care physician is going to have that, the yellow sheet. He's going to have all the information for you. or
And I
data.
will tell you, we had the healthcare surrogate, the power of attorney, all of that stuff. And it didn't help when my dad passed. And 2 weeks after my dad died, my mother went to the doctor and said, I want the DNR in my hands. And we have it now, because it was not a good experience.
Yeah, some departments are a little more strict.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to actually think a little bit outside the box
Okay,
with our medical
that's
director.
why we should all move to Winter Park.
Yeah.
Oh, got a question over here, Barbara?
I don't live in Winter Park, I'm in unincorporated Orange County, so do they follow the same protocols that you do if I call 911?
No, so unfortunately, they have their own standard operating procedures or guidelines, but they also have different protocols. And they have a different medical director. So we're similar, but they're different. So they may have something where they have to do this, this, and this. They'd be a little more strict. Like I said, for us, our protocols are a little more.
So are you able to call wherever you live? Could I call, I'm in unincorporated Oviedo.
Sure.
Could I call Seminole County and say, what happens if?
I think that's a good question to ask the fire department for
Yeah, I
sure.
would ask them.
And they will respond to you about it
Okay,
and answer it.
so homework, right? Check your municipality and what it offers.
Yep.
Cheryl?
Curiosity question. When someone does chest compressions, are you more likely than not to get ribs broken?
So when we're doing chest compression, it all depends on the person's age, depends on their bone density as well. Obviously, as you get older, your bone density gets a little less and less. And it depends how long we're doing chest compressions. So we also teach CPR for citizens in Winter Park, or even people outside the city of Winter Park. But what you hear, and we do have some big guys, and they're doing compressions on you. You will have your chest kind of concave a little bit. But, all that kind of comes back. However, it's your rib cage, it's your cartilage is kind of popping. We don't want to break your ribs, but that can be a possibility.
But it's not likely to happen all the time?
To everyone, no. No. Like I said, it depends on the person, depends on their medical history, if they have osteoporosis or something like that. Obviously, we won't not do CPR, but it's something to consider.
Are any of you CPR certified?
We got one.
I think that might be a workshop that we have coming up here. Dana, you have a question?
I do. What is the correct protocol for getting rid of medication?
So it depends on what it is. Our fire department does have it's a little bin. So if you have any medications that you do not want, don't flush them down the toilet, don't just throw them out. Bring them to the station, and you can actually drop it off into this bin. And it's secure. And also, if you have sharps and things like that, you guys can bring that to us, and we can give you, like say if you have medicine for insulin or anything like that. And there's a red box. It's you can't puncture it. It's non-puncturable. I think that's a word. I don't know.
It is today.
But yeah, you can't puncture through it, right? So it's a hard box that you can give us, and if you need another replacement, we can give it to you. But we can take that. But the medicine, you can go to the fire or to the police department, the public safety building. There's a bin, drop it off, and then that's that. It just can't be liquids.
Public
Nan-
pharmacy has it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe a lot of pharmacies as well do it, but for at least here, I know our police department has
And
it.
Great
in the
Transitions will
lobby.
take care of it for you when you move out of your house if you want.
There you go.
No liquids or narcotics, I think.
Correct.
All right, I think we got time for one more question. Wendy?
Does the patient have a choice of which hospital they will be transported to?
Hold on, let's get you a microphone
Yes,
so
I'm
everybody
sorry.
can hear.
Your question is important.
Does the patient have a choice of hospitals to which you will transport them?
Yeah, so we have our certain protocols depending on the severity of your emergency. If you are in cardiac arrest, we're going to go to the nearest hospital. If you're not in cardiac arrest, you have shortness of breath, something like that, or heart issues or anything, we're going to go to the proper hospital. So Advent Health Orlando is our closest cardiac hospital. So if you're having cardiac issues, we're gonna go there. Whether, we'll obviously talk to you, because they're, no matter what, if we go to Winter Park, if you have a cardiac issue, they're gonna transfer you to Advent Health Orlando. So we kind of want to expedite your treatment. So instead of just going to Winter Park because you want to go there, we're going to suggest taking you to the best place, and we will do that. But if you're having like a non-emergent, just you broke your leg, or not broke your leg, but you hurt your leg, you fell or something like that, and you guys live near Winter Park and you want to go there, then we will go there. If you want to go to Dr. Phillips or something like that, that's out of our range. And if you're stable enough to go there, we'll have to call like a non-emergent transport, and we'll stay on scene until that person gets there, or we'll try to find different avenues. Maybe a family member can take you, per their own vehicle, if it's not that severe. But yes, you do have a choice, depending on the severity of your emergency. Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
One more.
On the same subject, I have insurance, but what if someone does not have insurance?
Yeah.
Where do you take them?
Well, depending again on their medical emergency. If they have a cardiac issue, we're going to suggest going to Advent Health Orlando, which is our closest cardiac hospital. If they do not have insurance, unfortunately, they still bill them and all that, right? They'll bill from our emergency transport to the hospital, but they have different avenues, just like anything, like a credit card or anything like that. They have financial advisors at the hospital that can assist you in figuring out a way for payments. So, and ultimately, some people don't even pay.
But we're not gonna not take you.
Correct.
because
We're not
you're,
gonna. I don't. For me and our department, we don't care if you have insurance or not. We want to We want to treat you. We don't want to get you seen by someone.
Yeah.
Especially if you have.
It's the hospital that will accept you, that's what I mean.
They're gonna have to. So there's a thing called an EMTALA law, and what it is once someone is on their property, I forget the yardage or whatnot, but once you're on their property, it's their responsibility to treat you.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you both very much. Thank you for your years of service. You know, I always ask, did we try and sell you anything? Nope. I don't know, but this free 911 call is pretty awesome. I might have to make one of those someday. But the question is, what are you going to do with this information? I think you have some action steps, right? To get your little refrigerator card ready, right? I'm going to ask you, I might even make follow-up calls to everybody. Check in on you. You're our connection to the world. Now, despite what your blue form says, our next seminar is June 18th, and it's going to be right here. So if you sign up for the May 21st seminar, we're going to register you for the June 18th seminar, just so you know. Awesome. And then we always have a closing quote. I think this is pretty awesome that it came from someone well before 911 was ever established. Marcus Aurelius. Pretty smart guy. I love reading the Stoics. To wait until the emergency is to be too late. So go get your paperwork done, get that DNR done if you want one. If you have questions, we've got homework. We're going to try and get a template for you, okay? And that'll be part of your post-seminar wrap-up. Thank you so much for coming. We look forward to seeing you next month.